Good day, everyone. Welcome to another Technical Tuesday with your boy, Coach Clayton, right? It's good to be back regarding this week as we dive into the weekly outlook, right? And for those who are joining in for the first time, you know, experience the market analysis, right? Like never before. Um, there might be some information that might go over your head. However, you know, if you join the community of Kingdom Day Traders, you are most welcome to explore the information regarding the course material, right? So this is just a small percentage, just like 2% or maximum 5% of what we teach, overall, right? Um, and for the students, uh, you know, if you look at the Tixi, aka the dollar, as well as Euro USD, NAS 100, and gold, as we will go over these particular symbols, you would understand and see, right, how the market actually operate. And for those of you who are joining in for the first time, you can see as well. So drop in the chat for me, right? Put the 8 in the chat. Put the 8 in the chat if you're with me, if you're gonna follow with me, and I just want to see 8 in the chat just to see who's with me as well as we are joining the stream. Right? Just put the 8. Okay, I see this 8 is coming through. I see Joel, right? I see a Facebook user as well. Just a side note, just give StreamYard the ability to share your name as well if you want me to see your name there. But it's just showing on my side, Facebook user, right? Okay, I see a few eights. So, um, yeah, like I said, we did the Dixie, right? The dollar, as you can see over there. It actually went nicely. I must say, it actually went according to plan. I will just scan through it before I dive into the depths of each symbol. There we have Euro USD. It actually went according to plan. We have NAS 100. We saw that drop happening, right? It's a good feeling. And then we also have gold. And actually also went according to plan, right? But for this, I'm gonna remove myself so you can see the full screen, right? Because I know sometimes you can't be able to see the full screen because of myself showing there on the bottom left, right? And so the Dixie, I actually told the coach Henry today we want to see how on the high time frame, on the daily time frame, how price action, right, or the daily candles will close, right? Where will it close? So that will be a huge indication for the rest of the week, right? And so we go to the 4 hour. The 4 hour show that it actually went according to plan. However, we have seen that price action actually, just touched the proximal entry, and it went up. And I'm gonna go for a lower time frame just to show that to you, right? So there we have it. Um, and like I said, the students would be, you know, f- gain. I can't explain it. You would have gained, this information prior, and you know, you could have made money, right? So That being said, this is on a 1 hour, and if you actually look at how price action or candle structure is showing, how price is going up, right? It is not showing strength, in my opinion, right? So you will see that there will be, if price action do, come again to this particular demand zone, right? It can fall through and reach a deeper demand zone, and we can see a rise over there, right? So let me just move that to the right hand side. As I know, it can be a little bit choppy. So from the get go, I just want to say this, that we have this particular downtrend that is forming, right? It made a touch over here, right? It touched the downtrend, and it also touched the supply zone, right? However, I just want to move this down so that all of us can see how price action is forming, right? So we are seeing this uptrend happening, and if I can just go to replay, right, and I could just show you how price action was forming, right? If we have seen our price action made our first touch, and our price action is actually testing that uptrend, right? And then we have a third touch. What will normally happen is this, on most cases, right? We have seen how price action went long. However, we can see in candle structure is not showing a little bit of strength, right? And that we actually teach within our course. But when you see our price action is coming down, it is the most likely that price action will drop, right? And we all see that. So for this, I'm gonna go just on a 1 hour time frame, and I just want to play it out so that we can see how price action was forming, right? And so then we see how price action is choppy, and then we saw that price action going short, and that is where price action is now currently, right? So with that being said, you can see on this initial touch, right, price action actually terminated that uptrend, and price action broke to the downside, and we have seen that retracement follow up with the proximal entry, right? So we're all on that page. Now, how price action will go forward, like I said, if price action 2 comes down, right, to this demand zone, it can continue uh, to our next opposing demand zone. However, if price action don't do that, it can retrace, right, and have a confirmation entry, and we can see our price action will rise to the upside as well, right? So with that being said, that can give us a nice indication of how we want to see more or less how price action will move, right? So let me just put that back into perspective, right? I think it was something like that, yeah. So if we go to Euro USD, and let me just go back to the Dixie. If you have seen that drop happening, right, that is reaching to our next opposing demand zone on the Euro USD, right, it will reach to our next opposing supply zone, right, and that will be in this area over there. However, it not, it did not reach, the full um, area of supply, but direction was correct, right? As you have seen, the price action is trying to reach that supply zone just to give us a little bit of a framework to work from, right? And if we have seen that our price action will perhaps, drop because, let me just move this out of the way, because of this area over here, right? Because of that area over there, we have noticed that it can be a little bit weak, right? And that area of the demand zone is also unstable, right? But like how for the students, as how Coach Edwin teach the Model 3 and the CAP as well, also take a note regarding that. Um, but for now, we have seen or we can respect the bias within the market, right? Because we have seen our price action is making a correction, right? And we have seen the bias come in once more, right? We all see that. So with that, you can do your analysis and you can trade regarding how the Euro USD will move. So we have did seen that we have a rally, right? It's forming a base a little bit, and then we also have a rally that's happening. Now we're actually seeing our price action is trying to reach this demand zone once again. If there is a play in this particular area, we are looking on a, on the other side that price action can go short. Like I said, only because of how candle structure is performing there. Now, let me just give you another trick. There can be hidden zones within this particular area, right? So we can see that price action can also drop, reach this particular demand zone, and then we can have a rise as well, right? So just pay attention to that, and this can be a nice moment to just highlight the Forex Factory. Um, it's gonna be a good week concerning fundamentals, right? As we can see that even on Thursday we have unemployment claims regarding the dollar. I have seen that yes, that will be tomorrow. Um, you know, the Fed chair, right, will speak at 5 p.m. But that's obviously South African time. So just double check on your time. What time will that be, right? And then we have the big one that's happening on Friday. So Friday at 3:30 again on my time. You have to see on your time regarding the news that will come out on Friday, and that will be the non-farm employment change, right? So that's going to be the non-farm payroll. What will happen over there, and then again at Opus 3, also the unemployment rate will also be published to the public. So if you are getting value, just put a 5 in the chat as well. Just put a 5 in the chat if you're still with me, right? Because I know this information can go over a person's, thought process if one don't understand. But let's give me a 5 in the chat if you're still with me. I see there's a like as well. Okay, there I see the fives coming through. Thank you so much for the fives. So you all getting value. So now we're going back to the chart, and I want to delete that one and bring this one over here, right? So for the big one, and this, sorry, before we go on, if price action do perhaps and this can be crazy, right? But I just noticed if price action to come down, right, reaches demand zone and start to play in this area, coming down to this demand zone, right? And price action is actually testing this particular area, right? Price action testing this particular area. If it do, you know, is testing this demand zone, but also having another touch on this particular uptrend, right? Just have a look at that as well, because sometimes price action do tend to move in this way, more or less, and it will continue going up, right? So just have a look at that as well. So going to NAS 100, right? NAS 100 actually went according to plan. Um, and I said I'm gonna go this for the higher time frame. I'm gonna go to the daily time frame, right? From the get go, we have seen from theory, we have a rally, we have a base, right, and then we have a drop. That's a core formation, right? And when we see that on a daily time frame, if you see the closing of the candle, right, and the ratio and how it closes, and it closes above this particular candle, this green candle, then that can be a sign that the sellers might be in the market, right? The reason why I say might is because it never broke the controlling swing low, right? And the controlling swing low is in my opinion, it's this one over here, right? Because there's a low, right? Here's a low coming to a high, coming to a higher low, right? Made a high once more, and now it's a, a low, right? But if price breaks below that controlling swing low, then we can have an indication that the sellers might be in the market, right? So I know there's a lot being said, and yes, you know, it can be, like I said, go over the moon. But however, coming back to this week, I'm just gonna move this to my right hand side so we don't get confused regarding what is going on within the market. I actually used, because remember, let me just go to the daily time frame once more. Price action is actually moving in uncharted area, right? It had not been in this particular price range of one. Let me just zoom in once again. It had not been at price action, regarding 18346, right? So once again, so we couldn't understand, or I won't say we couldn't understand, but we couldn't highlight our next opposing supply zone. However, I use my trend lines as just as a reference to gain perspective on the market, right? So I use this two touch points, right? This uptrend forming to more or less give me a framework to say, you know what, price action might reach this particular area and then drop. However, if you have seen how the day opened, right? Let me just put on my session breaks here. You can see yesterday price action actually like made a base, right? And today we just see the sell-off. And I'm gonna take this off once again because I know it can be too much on the chart, right? So the first thing I say that price action, it may just drop, right? Come to this demand zone and we can have a retracement, right? Going up from that demand zone. However, that was not the case. If it's just, and then also I said price action can also rise to this and touch a particular area and then drop, right? But I also said that we need to also look at if price action, right, to come down to this demand zone and start to play in this particular demand zone, we can experience a short that can happen within the market. And guess what? Ladies and gentlemen, it actually did happen, right? It was a third you know pattern in the market. So price action, had a touch, came down again, right? And actually dropped to that particular demand zone. That was our next opposing demand zone, right? And that demand zone was over here, right? We all see that. And if we're really paying close attention, it is actually respecting this uptrend, right? It's actually respecting that uptrend. So theory and skill set must come together for how the market will operate, right? I see a comment there. Yes. I don't know who asked that question because I just see a Facebook user. I say a quick question on that swing low. Could that be a liquidity pool to just send the market higher? It can be, right? And I think that was on. I can't come to it now. Did I say that was on the Euro USD or was it the NAS? Yes, it was the NAS. Yes. Yeah, I was getting confused there regarding the symbols. Yes, so this can be an indication that the market can rise up. Let me just go to the 1 hour again. This area can be a area where price action can rise up, and what I mean by that, it can reach this demand zone as it is, and it can also rise up, right, and go to the upside and go long. So with that being said, and that is why I also highlight this particular um, demand zone is because price action can drop, reach this particular demand zone, and it can also go up as well. But then we must look for break of structure if it really is an uptrend or is solid in the market, right? Because and remember, because now it broke the low, so which means is this: if price action comes down again, right? And I think this is Chairman teases this, right? We can see how price action can actually drop, right, to the downside. But like I said, I don't know if this is okay. I see it's Alan. Oh yes, sir. Um, so yeah, I was gonna say that you can get this within the community, but like I said, I think you were one of the few. You were in a few classes of Coach Sharon, and with that, it can also, with that, it can play with the breakout structure and identify if it's in a if the sellers on them is in the market now, or that it can actually make a higher high as well. But remember, on NAS 100, right? If we go to the higher time frames, you're actually seeing, right, a a strong bullish trend, right? A strong bullish trend. So even that already, um, let me just go to the 1 hour to explain this. So even that already, right? If I draw this particular uptrend, right, and just let it sink there, and let me just move this out for the meantime. So the market or in an uptrend, you experience a low, right? Experience a high, experience a higher low, high, higher low, right? That made a high as well. A higher low made a high, right? But now it can break that low, but remember it can also respect this demand zone as well, because it can make the market can confirm that this is actually the higher low, and the market can continue to make highs as well. So, but like I said, when we see the break of structure, right, and obviously we you know, how price action will move in this particular area, right? If there is a break of structure, right, and I'm just throwing up out the random area. If there is a break of structure and we are seeing the buys still in the market, then that can be our confirmation, right? So we need period one and we need period two to confirm that if it is in a downtrend, right? So that's just confirmation. But obviously that do takes time as well. We're sitting within the market, right? And yeah, I hope I answered the question as well. So what I wanted to say as well, we have seen this particular uptrend that was tested two times, right? And that is where the circles are. And the second time, actually, price action broke through and reached our next opposing demand zone, right? So we're not done yet. We have just one more to go, and I know um, I don't want this live to be long, right? And so the lastly, it's gold. Now I said, and gold is also. Let me just go to the high time frame. This to show the framework happening, right? Gold is also trying to reach an area where it has not been before, right? So if you look at history, yeah, gold is on the move. Yeah. So let me just go to the lower time frame to explain this as well. I have said that this is our next opposing demand zone, right? However, I did say that if price action do play in this particular supply zone, there is a tendency that price action will break and it will continue going strong. And the reason for that is because the way how the dollar is operating. Now, when I speak about the dollar, when the dollar is going strong, gold have a tendency to to go also having weakness in the market, and when the dollar is going showing weakness, the dollar is actually showing strength, right? So it's basically the inverse, right? And so once we have that in place, it actually played in this particular area, right? For that, and then a shot up, right? So even that, you know, And let me just see. Let me just put on the, yeah. So it played in a few hours, and it actually shot up on the third hour. Right, so that was the afternoon on my side. That is the time New York opened, right? And that is where we see that the buyers came in the market. But it also show you how long the price action sit within that supply zone, and then we had the buyers coming in, and it just went long as well. So that was the one how price action moved, right? And then I also said that if price action, let me just, yeah, and I also said if price action too, um, is coming long, right? It's playing long to come to this and our next opposing demand zone, then we can see, a drop rally, sorry, a drop base rally, right? We will see that happening within the market, and price action can have a reversal at that area of demand. But as we saw in the market, how the market moved regarding yesterday and today, price action actually went long, right? So we are also in uncharted waters here, right? And this is a spike. If we just zoom in here, um, this is a spike. So there's no actually, evidence of how or where price action will even respect this particular area, right? Because yeah, there's no candle structure, etc., etc., unless that is the distal entry and price action is just reaching that distal entry, and we will see how price action actually returns back to that demand zone, right? So it was our supply zone, but now it is our demand zone. Why? Because what was our resistance now becomes our support, right? So that's it from me. I also saw a question. Okay, so this is period one. Then an uptrend as a pullback is period two. So let me just go back to NAS 100 for that. I think it was there, right? So for when I said period two, that was actually for the downtrend, right? To confirm that it is in a um in a downtrend, right? So you have a drop, so that will be your period one, and then if it goes like this, then that will confirm that it's actually going down, right? Um, but if this don't happen, this leg, right, and it continues to go up, and it had a break of structure to the upside, and I think Alan, I see you cheating here. If they have a break of structure over there, then it won't, that will be our confirmation that price action is still in the bias. Yeah, I'm smiling because he knows why I'm smiling. But in any case, but yes, that's all from me. Um, and I hope you enjoyed this live stream, right? Yeah, it's interesting time. So just use like just go over the fundamentals one more time, right? And look at how the fundamentals will play within the trades, and look for that red files, right? As they can potentially guide your trades as well. So Um, yes, I see. I see. Thank you. Okay, no problem. No problem, sir. Yeah. So that's it from me, team. Kinder family. Within the Connect, Trade, and Grow. Um, Hope you enjoy this live stream and take it easy. I will see you next week, same time, right? So take it easy. See you guys. Bye.